Dear friends, we live in a world where there is so much of hardship, endless hardship. And we also have a human need to make our complaint to God. Some say, never complain to God. That's wrong. In the Holy Scriptures, we see plenty of complaints, people bringing before God. We are allowed to do that. But the question is, how do we complain to God? How do we complain to God? When the people of God who were under slavery in Egypt were redeemed, taken across the Red Sea and now into wilderness, there was a situation where there was no food for them. Immediately, that human nature of wanting to complain was visible. The people of God began to complain about not having food. Okay, that's allowed. But how did they complain? They complained doubting the faithfulness and the love of God. They complained saying, oh, why did you bring us into this wilderness? We should have been allowed to live and die in Egypt. Oh, what kind of food we ate there. We had leeks, we had onions, we had the food of the Egyptians to eat. But here, we are being starved to death. Now that's a wrong way of complaining before God. The people of God forgot the goodness of God that sent Moses to redeem them from the hands of the Egyptians. They forgot the faithfulness of God who took care of these people through those 10 plagues, but prevented his people from getting affected by these 10 plagues. And they forgot the faithfulness of God to his promises in taking them out of Egypt. All that they forgot, all what they now want to talk about is not having food, and it would have been better to die there in Egypt as slaves than to starve here to death in the wilderness. My friends, these are days where we have lots of complaints to make about. We have a God to whom we can go and complain about it. But the way we complain about is not by doubting the goodness and the faithfulness of God. The way we complain to God should not lead us to a point of forgetting the wonderful love and the care that God has provided to us all these years. Just because during this time period we are all facing hardship does not mean that God has forgotten us, God has deserted us, God does not care for us. If you want to complain to God, start complaining to God while keeping in mind that you are being loved and cared by God, and that is the reason why you come to Him with your complaints. People have done wrong to us. Lot of misery has come upon us, especially who live in Sri Lanka. But never forget that we have a God of love, a God in whose promises upon which we stand, a God who will never desert us in spite of what we go through now. And so, be ready to complain to God. It's allowed, but not to the extent of where you place yourself in a doubting point, you place yourself forgetting the faithfulness and the goodness of God. Stand upon those great experiences and speak to God and tell Him about your complaint. May God help you to properly articulate your complaint, not to the extent of forgetting the faithfulness of God, but keeping in mind that you have a God who loves and cares for you, and trusting in Him, you are now making your complaint to Him because He is good, and His goodness rests upon you even at this time of great difficulty. May God bless you and keep you safe. Amen.